watching Managing Day to Day with me, Christina Laster, and National Parents Union. And every Thursday we have P with Coach Robinson. Hey, Coach Robinson, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
I gotta get my words right. I have been up since, well, I probably didn't sleep very much. And for those of you that don't know,
congratulations.
Thank you. So
Triple G.
So my third grandchild was born early this morning, and I am so excited. I don't know what to do with myself. And so that makes two grandsons and one grand princess. Shout out to my grandkids. Love all my children. My tribe is growing, being fruitful and multiplying. And so I hope you're all well. Hello to America's beautiful children. We love you. And as always, like I said, on Thursdays, we have PE with Coach. And so go ahead, Coach, take it away.
Well, good morning, parents, students, friends, everybody. Thank you so much for Christina for allowing me to be here. Every Thursday, it's really cool that we have this going on. I'm just super excited. Before we get started, things that we've already talked about, and I know you weren't here last week, so we went over some stuff, and I just want those parents out there that are watching for the first time to not feel that they've missed out on anything. So you want to recap really?
Right, so we're talking about the importance of using nutrients as energy. What you put in your body will use as fuel. And so Coach will elaborate on that. Also, the importance of hydration, right? How important it is to hydrate your body with water, making sure that before you do any planned physical activity, you're hydrated. And then also just pushing past some thresholds. I actually experienced this this week where I upped my squats.
Oh, well, good for you. Let me move my location really quick.
That's okay. And so I upped the number of squats that I do in the house, and I pushed myself a little bit too far because my body started hurting. And so every time I tried to like bend down or walk or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, when is this going to go away? And then, just doing that daily walking, but making sure we're hydrated, and that, I can push past that threshold of the pain and discomfort that I want to do. And that is about 3 to 4 days. Yeah, until.
Oh, that's cool. You have a little plan. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, just to recap really about the nutrition piece, we want to make sure that we are really understanding and grasping the concept of what we put in our bodies is going to give us either a healthy outcome or a negative outcome, and how we look at nutrition for lifelong wellness for our kiddos, because again, we all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, and we have traditional things that we do in our family. And sometimes they may not be the most healthiest choices. And we want to make sure that we are teaching our generations to come how we can take those family recipes and tweak them a bit so that we're being healthy when we're eating, our traditional meals. And this week with my students, I really talked about how nutrition is a balancing act and staying healthy is a balancing act. Not only are you, what you put in your body will give you either a positive or a negative. It's also your mindset. We think about, I gained so much weight. Let me get out there and let me go, burn all this fat off in one day and expecting an outcome. So we want to make sure that, we're looking at in a wise way. So when we talk about staying healthy is the balancing act, the amount of energy coming into your body or nutrition is equal to the amount of energy you burn or physical activity, right? So you will maintain or stay the same weight. You're putting in something, you're exerting yourself and getting all that energy out. Now, when the energy coming in is greater than the energy going out, like right now with COVID, then you're going to see a big change. And a lot of that food or a lot of that energy is going to be stored up in your body as fat. So that's when you start seeing, like you said, a couple of days you don't do your exercise, you're starting to be sore. Well, I shared last week with Natasha that it takes 3 days to get out of shape. And if you work out for 3 days straight and, you get in your routine, or really 2 weeks, because it takes about 2 weeks to really start a program.
Okay.
Once you get to that 3rd week, if you just stop for 3 days, those weeks have gone in vain. Those weeks have gone in vain. And now you have to start all over. And a lot of times that's where people fail, is the consistency. And so, our students have gone from, if they're in elementary, they were getting at least 100 minutes every 10 days with their teacher for California. And then you had a physical educator like myself would come in and do the other 100 minutes every 10 days. So that's 200 minutes every 10 days that students were getting physical activity, to now.
And
they're
right. And so I have to say that, I totally understand that if you have these planned activities and you're doing it for 3 weeks and then all of a sudden you stop, you kind of lose that, because I was a distance runner. People don't know that about me, but I actually did distance running, cross country in high school, was a varsity runner. And it took me even almost up to a month to get my breathing right.
Absolutely.
And so that I could make sure that I'm breathing right to run that distance, to do the 3.8 miles and then 5 miles. Sometimes I did in training, and so that period of time of just making sure that I'm breathing right, I didn't think it would take that long, but it did. And then finally, when I got that down, it was the weight training and the lower body things that we had to do, right? And so if you give up before, you're not going to really reach the pinnacle of the point of where you want to be. And so I just admonish you all to get a planned physical activity and stick with it until you are able to master through some things, even if it's discomfort that you're feeling, like my legs hurt from the squats, or even if it's, your goal is going to be to do something for 30 extra minutes, just go ahead and keep pushing and get that in.
And, we talked about last week, what does it look like? So when you're starting off, like I mentioned before, it takes about 2 weeks. I suggest 2 weeks before you start any type of weight training or any type of cardio of walking or running or jogging. You can do things like parking further away from the door, when you go out to get your essential needs, park further away from the door. And you start counting your steps, even with your little ones, to make everything a game, because remember we first mentioned to our parents that everything is a game in PE. So when you're going to the store, you're going out, you're doing whatever you do for the day with your kiddos, you can implement the alphabet, you can implement counting numbers, you can play the ad game, you can do a lot of things like that. And that way you're teaching lifelong wellness, because the shift has gone from dodgeball is PE to get these kids up, active, and moving. And that's a bit difficult because, as we look at it, today is day 63. If you're keeping track of your minutes, today will be day 63. And it sounds great in theory about, we're keeping track. What does that look like? So what we did today, Christina, is we actually have a demonstration on how easy it can look. And then also you have to think about it's getting hot.
Oh, yes.
So you talked about water intake. Water intake is getting hot. And for our area here in the Inland Empire in California, we have a heat advisory until tomorrow. And what that means is in inclement weather situations, no matter if it's the extreme of hot or heat or the extreme of coldness, students have to be accommodated and we have to modify our programs because of the weather. So today we were outside and it's already, I believe it's 90 already.
Well, it's 106 degrees where I'm at. And I have to tell you, I had to go to the doctor 2 days ago, just, normal business. And it was horrible, right? Because we were hydrated, but the air conditioner in my car doesn't work. Okay. And having that hot air blow on you, it really just makes you feel tired, frankly. I mean, like, it's like, no. So that heat advisory, pay attention to it. If you have to go out, of course, hydrate. Keep a cool towel or, spray bottle or something in your car, because it really does take energy out of you. And even though we were hydrated and we were still drinking water during the time I was out in the car, when we got home, we still had to like drink a whole lot of water. And I was so hot, it took me a long time to cool down.
Right.
So I can only
Right.
imagine people that are more vulnerable, like babies and elderly people. Please make sure you take care if you have to go out.
And then also a lot of parents don't really understand the effects of heat on students with challenges that take medicine.
Yes.
If your child is taking any type of medicine, the sun could counteract, especially psychotropics. That was really one thing that as a PE teacher, I have to be mindful of my youngsters that aren't able to really truly advocate for themselves because they're on psychotropics. And I would be like, oh my goodness, it's 85 degrees. I got to go take them in, but where do I take them, And so you want to make sure you're being mindful of that, as well as apply sunblock. In the morning, you're applying sunblock with the high SPF level. And when the sun's not out, I didn't know you should apply sunblock as well. I was told that by a dermatologist. And you want to make sure you're doing that, wear a large hat. And that could be challenging when you're trying to play with this big old hat on, So, I do have this demo. Would you like to see the demo?
Yes, we want to see the demo. Yay!
Okay, so if you have a small living room or a small space, anything is possible. You just have to think outside of the box. And so I actually stole this game from one of my colleagues, and I really didn't think about it this way. So I'll go ahead and turn around and show you what equipment you will need, and then also introduce my demonstrators. They've been eagerly waiting.
Demonstrators.
Okay, so let me go ahead and turn this camera around. Give me a second. So we have 3 games here, and all we need is, notice we have the laundry basket. You need several shoe boxes. And I also want to show other items you can use if you don't have stuffed animals. My boys are a little older, so they don't really have a lot of stuffed animals, and I know their sister wouldn't allow me to use it, right? And you need tape. So for the first game, notice how we have the piece of tape here, and then we have the boxes lined up, and then another piece here. So those 2 pieces of tape are going to serve as our guides of where we're going to start and stop. So we have our first demonstrator, Joshua. Say hi, Joshua.
Hi.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, when the music starts, the objective of this game is the student will hop with both feet together. Put your feet together. And then you're going to hop over the mini hurdles and count how many times you're touching those 2 white lines within a minute. And so what you're working on is that foundational skill of hop, and also this is plyometrics. And this is really cool. Notice this area is not very big, and let me stop talking so we can get started. Okay, when the music starts, I need to, let me have that. Thank you, sir. When the music starts, Joshua, give us what you got, because your brother is up next and he is going to be, let me get this music on. Everybody can see it? I need you to go over here, sir.
Yeah.
Everybody see it? Okay, when the music is on, feet together and go. Okay, that's 1. Keep going. I'll give you some music. Uh-oh. Okay, keep going. That's 2. Uh-oh. Okay, pick it up. Restart. Pick it up. Restart. Okay, so that one doesn't count. Go back right here. Okay, go. So that's 2 still. Okay, good. That's 3. Pick it up. Okay, go. And go. That's 4 and 3s. So just as simple as that. Thank you. I should give him a round of applause.
Woo! Thank you.
So just as simple as that, that's a great, and you see he's breathing hard, right? You hear him? You breathing hard, Joshua? He's like, no. So you're working on your foundational skills of hopping, and see, my son is acting crazy. This other one, go ahead and stand up, Eric. Joshua, you go sit down, please. Okay, you come here, Eric. Eric, you're gonna show our other game. Come stand at this line. So Joshua, go sit down. Okay, so this one is called the stuffed animal relay.
Hello, demonstrator.
And with Eric, so for this one, you can use either the stuffed animal here, or I had some of these mop heads. If you don't have a stuffed animal, you can use this too. So we have our spaces blocked off, and notice how big this carpet is, not very big. So if you have a small place, no worries. So Eric, what you're going to do is you're going to put your stuffed animal between your ankles. Between your ankles. There you go. And when the music starts, you're going to squeeze the stuffed animal and you're going to hop with the stuffed animal. And every time you touch the line, it'll be one, go back, 2, 3, 4. But you have to hop with that in between your legs. Cool beans? Are you ready?
Okay.
Now notice what he's focusing in on. He's got to hold that object in between his legs or his ankles, and he's still using that foundational skill, hop. Okay, when the music starts, you're on, buddy. Hey, keep going. Oh, put it back. On the balls of your feet, you'll get a little bit more faster. Not flat-footed, balls of your feet. Okay, go, 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 go. They want mama to show them out, don't they? Good. Okay, that's 3. They keep going, keep going. They keep going, keep going, keep going. And freeze. So you have your kiddos do it for about a minute. And then let me give you this last one. You have them do everything for a minute. Thank you, sir. Give them a round of applause. Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, so notice I put the basket here on the line. And then this line, and all this is a piece of tape. If you have tape, for me, I just use, this is not even tape, this is Post-it tape. So you could use that. And for this game, you're gonna need either a sock or you can ball up a piece of paper. Eric, go have a seat, sir. It's Joshua's turn. Okay, you're gonna stand at the line. When the music starts, we're not working on hopping, we're working on tossing. So show me what a toss looks like. Oh, awesome. Show me with your hands though, without the object. Show me with your hands. How do you toss? Palms up or palms down? Palms up. Okay, so in a toss, we're working on that foundational skill of toss, and those are used in softball, bowling. And when the music starts, you have the student or your child, come stand right here. Good. So you have a boundary marker where you want them to start. And my kids are a little older, so I have it a bit far. If your students are smaller, or even if you have students with challenges, you use a bigger basket. So the target is not that small. That's a modification. When the music starts in 1 minute, let's see how many times you can get that sock inside the basket. Last one. And notice he's still running. Agility to stop, pick it up, using those back muscles. And so this is PE at home. And now lastly, if you have students that are in sports, thank you, sweetie P. Okay, stop right there. I'm gonna show them something else. Oh, you just cheated. The music is off. But what happens is some of our students are athletes already. They play in organized sports. Come back over so I can show them another way we can make this more challenging. Now, to make this more challenging, you can get more socks and make this heavier, or use heavier objects like the mop head. And when the student tosses, they have to try to knock the basket up. Baskets. Okay, give yourselves a round of applause, boys. All right.
Tell the demonstrators, thank you.
Here they are. You want to say?
Thank you, boys, for that demonstration. You did an amazing job.
So it's just as simple as that. Because I know we did a lot of talking about what it looks like, but I at least today wanted to give some tips that they're still playing. And it's so much fun. Once the kids, they look at it from a different perspective, everything becomes a game, and this goes into lifelong wellness. Now I won't have a hard time with getting my boys to get their socks together.
Right.
So now we're also teaching, home ec.
So, I wanted to just touch on real quick about having those those borders, the tape, and how important sometimes it is to give spot markers, because you can't assume that children are going to automatically understand the distance that you want them to go, and then where to stand and where to start and where to end. So just touch on that briefly, the importance of that piece of a planned physical activity.
So one of the modifications for smaller children, because they're still getting into stop and go movement, they're not used to school all day. And then also special needs students, they need a visual as well as a verbal command. It's important because a lot of times especially for myself, I was an athlete throughout college. So I kind of am harder on my kids thinking they have the athleticism that I did. And I would start them off and it'd be too much. So you want to give them boundaries to stay within. Number one, that's going to reinforce students being able to follow directions. And then also they understand what boundary lines are. That's also a California PE standard. And it's important to do that because in older grade levels, what I do is I start removing boundaries so that now they're using their imagination and they're able to visualize that invisible boundary line. And, we said in previous videos or meetings that that's one big accommodation or modification that I use for special needs students is spot markers.
Yeah, especially when you have children that you ask them to stand in a place and they are everywhere else but that spot. And so having that spot marker starts to train them to think of where they need to be positionally. And we can't assume that all children can do that. And so, my sons use spot markers. They help him with boundaries. Even if he's standing there, what is he doing? Is his body all outside of this bubble? Does he have 1 foot way over there and over here?
And it sets an expectation for them to obtain.
Right.
Because especially, when my career is in high school. So when I came to elementary, I would say stuff like, I need you to stand right here. And they wouldn't know where right here was. And, like you said, it gives them an expectation. It gives them boundaries. It gives them also, it reinforces what they're learning in the classroom. You have to figure, red, blue, orange, yellow, green. And now we're reinforcing that in PE. I'm not sure. My boys are all over the place. You hear one's over here and one's
But I see him running up the stairs, and I have to tell you that my son, basically during the day, if he's like, I have energy, he'll run up and down the stairs, and I'm like, go for it, because that is good exercise, right? Even though it's not a planned activity.
We actually got that from you. We got that from you. We got that one from you. You told me that he knows how, and a part of his calming kit is that he's able to, self regulate. And my boys need self-regulation. And even with my general ed son, he also needs to have that ability to say, okay, I need to take a break. I need to get the wiggles out.
Right.
Let me go run upstairs, So I really appreciate, I'm telling you, I learned a lot of things from just you on this podcast, not even just on my days, other days too. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime I can share any experiences or knowledge that I have, I'm always willing to share that information. And so just going back to the health, wellness, planned physical activity, very important. Tell people where they could go to find those resources about the nutrition, what their plate should be looking like?
So myplate.org or .gov, I believe, myplate.org or .gov. It's a really good resource. And check your local government as far as for us in California, we have the CDC website, and that gives us a lot of information about, what kids need to be putting in their bodies, what they need to do is to stay healthy. It also has activities on there because I reference YouTube a lot, but the CDC website's a great one. For our children with special needs, it's NACPAD. You can go on Google and YouTube it, National Activities for Health and Physical Activities, I believe it is. Excuse me if I mispronounce it, but NACPAD's a good one. PE Central is a good one. And even if you just go to good old Google, you go to Google and you type in what types of anything, just what should my kid be eating right now? You can type in, just type in nutrition, stuff like that, and just get curious and start asking questions to your students. Ask them different things that you normally wouldn't ask them about, especially like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're gaining weight? Do you feel like you're are you physically active? Are you tired? Notice their mood. If they're moody, 9 times out of 10, it's a part of their physical activity. A lot of kids that are grumpy, sleepy, lethargic, they're not moving as much as they used to. And, again, for my son, he has asthma. So we went from elementary school where he was taking his asthma pump maybe once a week to every day having physical activity. And he was taking that asthma medicine every day, getting his heart rate up, and then coming home, mixed with this ADHD, to now we're in COVID and we're back to not even taking the medicine at all.
Right.
So you really want to, look at it from different perspectives. And again, like I always tell our parents every week, do over. If you feel overwhelmed, take a step back. I know that there's some check-ins that you guys can check out on the National Parent Union page. Do some check-ins, and it's okay. You need help. It's okay. I need help. I contact Christina Laster a lot for my one son. He is my one son.
Right. Yay for sons. We love sons and grandsons. Amazing. Boys are amazing. And so, I have to say that it's very important to keep a log, and it doesn't take an expert to do that, right? You can call it a journal, you can call it a diary, but it tells you so much. When you're actually logging your planned physical activities, and putting the time, the amount you spent doing that, what you did, and then you're able to log your child, right? And then logging, your meals, just what did you guys eat, right? What time? You will see that there are moods and different things that take place according to what you chart, and it will better be able to help you, positionally be able to help you do better, right? And so what I mean by that is I like to use nutrition for my medicine. Like, I don't want to be on a whole bunch of medication. That's my preference. I'd rather go drink a cup of green tea, boil some, hibiscus leaves, make sure that's just me, and eat some greens, dark kale, just different things, chard, whatever. And so what I do is look up healing properties in foods. How much of this should I have? And I've really done that, but it doesn't take an expert to get to that point. Just teaching my kids that if they're eating nuts, like, look at the walnut. What is the shape like? And they'll say it looks like a brain.
Right.
Well, Yeah,
Right.
that's power for your brain. So I give them a handful and that's it. Just a little power snack, sharp cheddar. I drink alkaline water. Doesn't mean everyone else has to, but that's just my
Right. Right.
practice. And so it really does help your immune system if you could just do whatever you can, wherever you can. Keep a
Yeah.
log of it. Make sure you have your planned physical activities logged so that you know where you're at and where you started. You can see those milestones, your children's milestones, and how they're progressing over the time and meeting those standards. And then, able to do that food diary alongside that. And then you will be able to see what may be causing some bad moods or lethargy or, a lot of energy at one point and then a dip at another. So, can you give the parents a final thought and how to contact you?
Okay, so if you want to contact me, I know we're running out of time, so let me be quick and I'll keep it brief. You can contact me at Facebook. I'm under a Kaylee Robinson. That would be AKALE Robinson on Facebook, or J Robinson PE class at Gmail. If you would like to contact me, ask me anything, get into a dialogue. And then just a final thought, just, enjoy your time with your family right now. It's a trying time. If you are not talking to anybody in your family right now, reach out to your elderly, FaceTime them with your children, have conversations with your children, have fun with your children, get healthy with your children so that they can teach their children. I've been blessed. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I definitely want to video chat with my grandson that was born today, even though he can't talk. I can talk to him. And so,
What's his name? Do I know his name?
we do not know his name. And I have given a Grammy recommendation. And my daughter says that I already named 2 kids, right? The other 2 kids. And I said, well, yeah, you see, that's how we just
keep the trend.
right?
Keep the trend.
And so I think with my grandma rights, I should be able to name the 3rd one too. Like, why not? But I'll let them go ahead and decide. I have been looking forward to seeing him and touching him. And so, thank you again for coming on Thursdays and talking about planned physical activities and health wellness. We appreciate that here at National Parents Union. I hope you're all well. You have been watching Managing Day to Day with me, Christina Laster, National Parents Union. We'll see you again tomorrow for Ask the Counselor Fridays. And if you,
awesome.
Yes, and if you have any questions in particular that you would like to ask the counselor, please feel free to reach out to me, Christina@npunion.org. Always willing to assist and support and answer your questions, to hear your feedback. Goodbye, America's beautiful children. We love you, and we'll see you again tomorrow, same place, same time, on the National Parents Union live Facebook page. Goodbye.
Bye. Funny face.